Morning, happy Mondays. It's about 10 a.m. On the last Monday of June 2019. I just thought about that. Next year will be 2020, and I finally have embraced that reality. So I'm sitting here in a parking lot, and I am in Andersonville right now. And I'm going to eat breakfast at McDonald's because I forgot to get breakfast, and I'm really hungry, and I'm really trying to start eating breakfast in the morning. I do have oatmeal at home to eat and stuff like that, but I don't always enjoy the oatmeal that I have and the apple cinnamon stuff, and I haven't really been to the store. But I've really been craving a hash brown. There's something about McDonald's hash browns that are like yum, 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 yum. I love them so much. Video of the day though. What's my vent and rant of the day? So yesterday I went downtown and I put up another video about me like going to this place downtown, which I don't know why I still haven't looked up the name of this museum. It's basically on like Wacker, Michigan, and they have like this free exhibit that you can go into, which certain days of the year they have that. It's like one of the Chicago tour sites. But I met this guy named Willie. Excuse me, I have like a slight allergy to dogs, and it kicks in where I was. There were dogs there, and sometimes it kicks in and I haven't taken my allergy pill over the day. But yeah, that was just a chair. And I was thinking about Willie and his story, and the fact that he's basically a homeless man living here in Chicago, and he was downtown. And then, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this a lot in the video, but he was basically like downtown there, and I watched him for a while to see if anybody would stop and say anything to him, and not a lot of people stopped. Nobody stopped actually, and I was there for like 10 minutes, and people were actually watching me as I was talking to him. And it's really interesting because while I was talking to him, this other man came behind me and did like this to my head. But he had much more problems, I think, mentally than Willie. My thoughts all the time are, what are communities doing, specifically communities of faith, doing to cater to people that are homeless, to cater to the marginalized groups of our country, and deal with the problems that we see, the injustice that I see, and that other people might be oblivious of, which I don't think people are oblivious. I think people are just not in a conscious state of mind where they understand that this is like a real problem, and they're so kind of debilitated by their own suffering and their own insecurities and all that stuff. But after I left talking to Willie, he was talking about having faith. I asked him, like, hey, what's the biggest word of advice that you would give to a young person or to somebody in general that's like trying to survive life? And he said to me, have faith, because there's nothing really in this world to get you by in these hard times. And I totally agree with him. I have faith in something bigger than myself, bigger than this world. Do I understand that all the time? No, I don't understand the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't think anybody really does. And some people, go to Buddha, some people go to Jesus, some people look at the ways of Muhammad. I think that those ways are all valid in the sense of what you're looking for and what you personally have used to find peace and to bring you clarity in life. But I do think that he is correct in the sense that we have to have faith in something bigger. And he didn't say specifically God. I mean, Willie was talking about God, but this concept of faith, of looking for something to keep you going. And my thing is, like, what's keeping me going? I ask myself that question a lot. Like, what keeps Cara John going? Yes, I have Zumba and I have great friends and family and church community and all that stuff, but there has to be something outside of that. And that's where I do believe that your faith comes in, your faith in yourself or in something bigger, comes into play. And you have to have that to get through this life. I mean, life is already so freaking hard. It's so hard. We live in this world where people are homeless, where there's economic inequality, where people are being, detained in centers with aluminum blankets to keep them warm on concrete floors. It's hard, and this world is unjust. And the reality is that on top of having faith, there has to be some action done to look after ourselves and to look after those who are an extension of ourselves, the other, like the marginalized in those groups. So yes, I do believe in what Willie was saying in the sense of like having faith, because that's all that you really have. But I also think that you have to take action. You can't just sit back and wait for things to happen to you. You have to actually do things proactively and participate in making the world better, making your life better. It's not just about like waiting for something to be dropped into your lap, or like something to fall from the sky, or like your prayers to be answered. Everybody has to take that personal responsibility on top of just having faith, because it's not faith without action, like the Bible says, is dead. You know, I don't quote scripture all the time, but I believe in that concept of faith without action is dead. You know, like if you are going to therapy, right? Or you have a problem, you go to therapy, but you have to actually go there and you have to actually do the work, and you have to actually put in the time to do it. And yes, have faith that at the end of all those things that you've done, that something good will happen. And that's how I believe life works, in the sense that with everything that we see and everything that is going on, you can't just sit back and like, oh, if you're hungry, well, I'm not going to go to a food pantry if I don't have food. Well, I'm not going to apply for food stamps, or I'm not going to go to the store. I'm just going to wait for things to come to me. Like that, those things you can't just wait for things to come to you in life. Like, yes, I believe that there are times in life where, and I use this example a lot when I'm talking to people. There's this movie called Selma, where Martin Luther King, there's a scene where the depiction of Martin Luther King that in the movie, the actor, is marching and then kneels down to pray, and then turns around in this march, because everything has been done, and he's basically, you know, looking to something higher to lead him on in that time. And that's where faith comes into play. But the action was taken first to start marching. The action was taken first to make change. And in my life personally, I used to really think that things just come to you if you just, you know, wait for and it's kind of a very naive, childish mentality. But I learned that from churches. I learned that from this like, give God everything and surrender and everything will just work out, you know. Like I believe in God. I mean, I believe in the concept of God and something bigger. I don't understand that. I think that's the concept of God, and the experience of God is so much bigger than a human being can comprehend. But I used to really believe that everything is just kind of dropped into your lap and you don't have to do anything at all, and that's inaccurate. It's not true, because there's people kind of stay stagnant and are not proactive about things in life. And then, for example, if you've seen injustice in the world, you can't just like sit back and like think that it's going to go away. You have to take action for it to be taken away, and have faith, like I said from the beginning, which is why I started this video talking about faith, that things are going to work out, even when they're hard, even when you feel like there's no way. You know, I'm at a stage in my life where I do believe that there is something greater in this world that is incomprehensible, like a force and an energy that can be translated into God. But I don't believe at all that we are on this earth just to be inactive members of Earth. We're supposed to be participating in making the world better, you know, doing things. And I'm not just talking about the sense of like social justice and being there for the poor and the LGBTQ community and all those other marginalized groups that we can list on and on. I'm talking about making positive and objective and definable, you know, decisions and actions to make your life better. If you want a different life, you have to change your life, which is why I'm completely starting my life over, where I used to feel very bad about not being a social worker, not having this wonderful job that some people hold so dear. But I don't think about those things as much anymore. I'm on my own journey, on my own path to take actions to change my life and to have faith that it'll get better. And I think that can happen for anybody. It can happen for you who's watching this and listening. And it's not too late. But have faith in something. like, make a plan for your life, make a goal, make some goals. I've really sat and I've thought about like what I really want to do for this year, what I really want to do for this month, what I really want to accomplish in my life, what I have to finish, what I am called to do. But I made, you know, action steps and like a plan for that to happen, and then I'm having faith that those things will happen in time, that I will not get weary, and that I will keep going. And I hope that that encourages you a little bit today, because even though it's hard, and one day I'll make a video about like all the things that have happened in my life. And of course, I have not had the worst life, but I've been dealt a hand that I shouldn't have been. But everybody has been dealt a hand that they shouldn't have been in some way. Like, that's the solidarity of humanity, is that everybody has been dealt something in life that they don't want. There's always that Joker card that we're like, ugh, so many great cards, but this card is just like bad luck. But it's okay. It's okay, because you can overcome those things. But have faith and take action steps to do better and to live better. Have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye.